Welcome to the Gritty Podcast. I am your host, Brian Call, and I am joined by my brother, Brent Call, a.k.a. the Gritty Broman.
Hi, guys.
Today, we're just going to do a little Q&A. Quick Q&A, hang out, answer some questions. Well, before we do that, I want to tell people thank you. Thank you for all the kind comments. Thank you for leaving reviews on iTunes. We've had an influx of reviews that are awesome. We had so many people come up to us at the Hunt Expo and at the movie night and just express their appreciation. And
We've
can't
had
say
just interaction on all fronts,
enough
on every platform, and it's been really cool. And I hope people keep doing it because we might not be able to get to all of them, but we read them all.
I definitely have struggled. I've read them all, but I've fallen behind with responding. I just can't respond to them all. So hopefully, as we select these questions and we read them, they answer some of your questions.
And we try to batch them up. So if people have multiple questions, you might have sent an email in about this question already, and we just picked that one.
Yeah.
For time's sake.
Okay. First question.
By Chris Meyer, actually. I think it's Meyer, like Fred Myers, for you Northwesterners. Subject, POW bear hunt. Hi, Brian. First off, thank you for everything you do for hunting and the conservation of wildlife. I drew a spring black bear tag on POW. Oh, it makes me so mad.
We did not draw.
We did not draw.
Brent and
I put in 3 times, and I have not drawn it once.
This is the first time in like 4 attempts that I did not draw the Prince of Wales bear tag. I have been quite lucky. This year I did not draw, and neither did Brent because we put it in as a party.
Whatever. Let's keep going.
Brent's never drawn, actually.
Anyways, Chris says, I'll be headed to the Eagle Lodge early May. I'm wondering if you have any good archery tactics in mind that you would go back to if you did this hunt again. We would like to be doing this hunt again. I will most likely be going by myself. I used to live in Ketchikan, so I am familiar with most aspects of this hunt, the weather, the tides, terrain, etc.
Yeah.
But I never hunted black bears while I was there. I am just trying to gather as much info as possible. Any help is much appreciated. God bless, Chris Meyer. I'm going to say Meyer.
I'm really jealous. Wish I was headed up there this spring or next spring. Archery tactics. Basically, if you're up there at Eagle Lodge with our buddy Ken, who is a stud, you will have a skiff, and the best thing to do is just cruise the shoreline. Just cruise up and down the different shorelines, and you will see bears out in the spring.
On our yet to be announced or really worked on or whatever POW movie that we have been hoarding for years, you will see Brian, Ben, Anthony, and my father go out and do that exact thing and kill many bears. Why we still have that footage and it's unreleased, only God knows.
Yeah, so if weather permits, because the skiff isn't that big, if the ocean is stormy, you're not going to go out there in a boat and die. But when the weather is clear,
and he said he's going in early May.
Yeah, I mean, with the Prince of Wales,
it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, but the idea is on good days, get in the boat, cruise the shoreline, and time of day isn't really
lights out. Bears are out and they're moving.
It's random. Bears are random, so they could be out in the morning, evening, afternoon. If you got the time, cruise the shorelines. Definitely late afternoon and evening, I find to be the best. Cruise the shorelines, and then when you spot a bear, figure out which way the wind's going.
Get behind it.
Park your boat, sneak in on them, and move fast because bears tend to.
They just walk and eat.
Yeah, they wander. They'll be out in the open and then they'll disappear again.
And you don't want to go in after them.
Oh, sure you do. I mean, you can, but it's not very effective. They just hear and it's so thick.
Or they'll maul you, whatever. That's my real concern. This is a prey that does tend to fight back, even after death.
Yeah, I don't worry about that so much with Prince of Wales.
On your next coastal black bear, what are you going to do with it food-wise? Like, you've had a couple now. And some of them have just tasted like fish.
They all taste like fish. So they're not the best eating bears.
So
inland bears are like the ones that we eat in the blues.
The berry bears.
Yeah, they're awesome. They taste like.
So I'm getting the coastal bear. You don't really want steaks and roasts.
No, we just turn it into pepperoni and try to cover the flavor.
Pepperoni bears.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, cruise the shoreline, glass, get out with the wind right, and Then on days where the weather is bad
Frightful.
and you don't want to miss a day of hunting, because I can't stand that, I walked logging roads. And that's proven very effective. In fact, the first 3 years I did the bear hunt, I just walked logging roads and glassed clear cuts. Not glass clear cuts that much, though. I find that still hunting up logging roads was more effective.
Yep.
They tend to eat right on the edge of the road. And
We saw a ton of bears.
but
just
here's the
walking
other
on the
thing is
road.
when you're sneaking up on bears there, they can hear.
Mhm.
They can hear. So at a certain point, they may never even look in your direction, but it's like they trust their nose, number one, their ears, number two, and their eyes last. When you're in that last 100+ yards, you have to be quiet. Yeah, you can't be heard. There's so many times where I know a bear never smelled me, but they heard the sound of approaching feet, and then they walk into the bushes just because they don't know what it is.
And it's so thick, you just don't see them.
And then what I would do in that situation is sit down and wait an hour or two or 10 minutes. And a lot of times that bear will come back out if he didn't hear any further noises. It's an awesome hunt, man. Do it. And crab every day. Drop a crab pot every day. They like red meat.
Yeah, and if you tag out early, go fishing. I
Yeah.
still want to go fishing in Alaska.
Yep. It's an awesome hunt. Everyone should do it. Okay, next question.
The next question comes to us from Darren Call. Subject, film music. Message, hey Brian. Awesome job on your film at the Mountain Ops movie night. It was by far my favorite of the four. I talked to you a bit about it at the Hunt Expo, but I completely forgot to ask you about the music. Was you willing to share what songs you used in the film? Thanks, Darren Call.
So the music is a mixture of stuff that I've purchased, and each song, depending on how you're going to use it, is anywhere from like $50 to $400. On that film, I got a lot of the music came from me. A lot of it comes from Keith, and Keith has his own sources where he gets music from. But I like to use Premium Beat. I like to use Music Bed. I like to use.
I do like Premium Beats because I like that little watermark they add in their
Yeah.
songs. It'll just be going along and just Premium Beats.
This is premiumbeats.com. Yeah.
They're shameless.
And I like Triple Scoop music. Keith has 4 or 5 pay to purchase music that he gets there. I've spent I don't know how many hours, many hours listening to
Finding music is hard.
Yeah, when Brent first started here, he couldn't really do much at Gritty because he was skillless. And
Or
so-
because Brian was gone and I had nothing to edit.
And so what I did was I was like, Brent, listen to 5,000 songs and find me 15 good ones. And
did I deliver?
yeah, it's
Thank
a
you.
long, tedious
Thank you.
process.
It's an
because
awful process.
just a lot of
Because
bad.
people have bad taste in music is what it comes down to. There's a lot of bad music out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but
Bad
yeah.
parenting.
There's a lot of songs that just don't fit, that aren't my style. Anyway, that's the answer. I'm not sure where Keith got some of his recent stuff. The other one, like I talked to Born and Raised the other day, I was watching The Mountain Project on YouTube. Those guys seem really cool. I don't know them at all, but they were talking about songs that they got from, and I've heard Born and Raised say the same thing. They get them from singers that they find, and they just write and ask that person if they can use their songs. But yeah, no, and the reason I volunteer this information is, first of all, it's fairly public, but also I'm tired of hearing bad music in YouTube films.
Part of the problem with YouTube is that if you have a song on there and you don't have, every time you upload a song onto YouTube, it doesn't matter if you've uploaded the same song before 1,000 times, they
Yeah.
flag it and demonetize your video.
A lot of people have asked us why we don't have the intro on Gritty Podcast, the one it's about to get crazy. Part of that was because every time we use the song, YouTube forced us to go through this long process of monetization. They automatically flag it every time as a copyright, even though we own the rights and we can use it as much as we want. YouTube flags it every single time. And then we have to go through, a 10-minute, 15-minute process of claiming we have a copyright. And it just got to a point where I'm like, I just not
And
gonna
it's
use
so
the song
frustrating when
anymore.
you've put in the same application 30 times for the, like,
It
that's
was
all
like
you've uploaded.
70 or 50.
It was
So
a lot. We use that intro a lot.
All my songs from the open season. Again, I purchased all of those. We still get YouTube demonetizing, shutting down the videos because some copyright claim, which we clear, and then we have to do it again. And I was telling my brother, I'm like, the whole point of buying the music is so that you can monetize it through YouTube, or I can have a film night with it, but if YouTube's just going to block it anyway and demonetize it, why buy it?
And they take their sweet time doing it too.
So
it'll be up for like a day or two, and then they're like, "Oh, let's flip this switch off."
Not just a day. It'll be, we get some like that have been up for 4 months, and then all of a sudden a new claim shows up, and then they shut it down.
And here's the other thing: if you fight it, and like if you don't fight it correctly, or for whatever reason, or whatever magical guidelines YouTube goes by, they'll give you a copyright strike.
Yeah,
and they have a new 3-strike rule, Brian. Did you know that?
Shut down.
They shut down. They'll kill your page.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That punishes you for speaking up.
YouTube has a lot of power.
They have a monopoly. 100%. Who does what they do?
Vimeo, kinda, but
Vimeo was supposed to be. He was Anakin Skywalker. He was supposed to come along. He was supposed to correct the Force, and then it got bad. But I'm hoping Vimeo can pull its head out of its butt and fix this situation.
Tell me how you really feel. So there you have it. Gritty Broman's take. That's good.
We love you, YouTube. Don't demonetize this video.
All right. Next question.
I do have an email from a man named Skylar Strassman that I think we should go over. He has a question about nutrition and supplements. He says, "Dear Brian, first off, I want to say I enjoy all the content you put out, especially the podcast. Your videos are pretty good too. I'm no longer on social media, so I don't see what you put out there, but what I do get to see, I enjoy, so thank you. My question for you is your view on nutrition and supplements. Do you feel that taking all this man-made supplements has made a difference in your life? I ask this because I have stayed away from it because I'm skeptical about what is actually in the stuff, and I care what goes into my body. I do CrossFit, run, and lift weights. I'm in great physical shape. However, I feel my body beginning to plateau. I want to keep going and keep making gains in my endurance and strength. I'm looking at maybe starting to take supplements. I eat a very strict diet as it is, but I don't think it's enough to push me up to the next level. I would appreciate a detailed response from you on your experience without supplements and then with supplements. I value your time and knowledge, and thank you for taking the time to read this. Skylar Strassman."
Skylar. So when it comes to supplements, I think it's just a really broad term.
Well, I remember you were pretty skeptical on supplements, weren't you? For quite some time, you were I get everything I need from my food kind of guy.
I still am skeptical.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's your answer, Skylar.
No, I still am skeptical. And I mean, when you say supplement, that's just so broad. Are you talking about a vitamin supplement? Are you talking about a fish oil, a krill supplement? Are you talking about a creatine supplement? Protein supplement? Because all of these things are forms of food often, and some of them are more, and I would say some fall in the energy department, and you have nutrition, and they don't fall in the same category. So if you're looking for a performance gain, let's say you have a run or a lift session that you're going to do, or some kind of competitive CrossFit workout, I do better when I take like Yeti or a pre-workout supplement for that intense hour of activity than I do when I don't take it. But I'm not convinced that's necessarily a nutritional thing.
No. And I don't think it's a placebo effect either.
No, I think it's just an energy thing. So let me back up. My recommendations, or what I like and the way I live my life, is I try to get everything I can out of the food I eat. I get the meat from the stuff I kill. I find ways to prepare it using healthy fats like olive oils and coconut oils, butter, and avocado oil. I try to use healthy oils, and then I supplement with fish oil. I think fish oil is really critical. So when I started taking fish oil as part of my exercise routine and part of my daily life, my inflammation went way down. Omega-3 oils help reduce inflammation. Omega-6s tend to help induce inflammation. Fish oil, krill, I take calcium with vitamin D and magnesium. I take every couple of days, I'll take vitamin C. every few days, like an emergency packet. And yes, all of those vitamins and minerals are imperative to me. When I take fish oil, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, even some glucosamine, liquid form, my joints are healthy. They are strong. I have a family that has a history of some issues with arthritis in their hands, especially. As long as I am taking those things, I don't have any joint pain, really, at all. Inflammation, recovery, I get lots of sleep. Other things that I take that I respond really well to are creatine. There's no comparison in my muscle gain and muscle mass and fitness level when I'm taking creatine versus when I'm not. The problem I have with creatine is, and some people have this, is like if I take it for 4 weeks in a row, I get to a point where I have a hard time going to the bathroom. It just requires a lot of liquids, a lot of moisture, and that can cause me to get constipated. It's kind of a normal thing. So I kind of cycle on and off. I'll use creatine for a month and then I'll be off for a month and on for a month. And really there's no reason why you couldn't just continue it indefinitely. But, and it will, some people are major responders to creatine. Mm-hmm. Some people aren't. I am a major responder. I just wish I digested it better. I love Mountain Ops Renew. I think Renew is an excellent, I love that product. Especially for backpacking. It's
because Brian likes everything. To poop, y'all. If you don't know what Renew is, those are the Mountain Ops pooping pills.
Yeah, and I don't have one here.
Right there by my computer, there's some right there. There's a bottle. And folks, if you look on that bottle, it has a cute little poop emoji.
A bottle of Renew. It's like their body cleanse. I like this. It works for me. It's got some psyllium husk, kind of like what you'd find in like a Metamucil. Senna powder, hydrangea root powder, marshmallow root, cranberry, milk thistle extract, milk thistle powder, dandelion root, charcoal, garlic, ginger root. You know, you can hear there's just a lot of herbs and plant items that just kind of help with digestion. And so you take these things and they kind of help with digestion, help with gut. And Renew just helps me stay regular. So I'll take a couple of these after dinner and then I'll have
I have to take them at night. If I take them in the morning, there's going to be a very panicked moment sometime about 8 hours later for me.
It says happy poops right here. Happy poops on the bottle. And it's true. So folks, I take 2 after dinner each day. And then I really like Biotics. The Mountain Ops Biotics. Again, the capsules. They do have the straight to mouth ones, but I like the capsules. Again, they're just bacteria. There's some like 5 billion strains of bacteria or 10 billion or 50 billion. Anyway, you'll have to look. It has a lot. It has enough that it actually has a marked effect on you and you can feel the difference. My daughter did a school project where she took the Biotics pills and we grabbed 5 others from the store that were leading manufacturers of the bacteria. And if you take those pills and you
break them
open over in like milk. So we had a half cup of milk and 5 different cups. And then we put the bacteria in the milk and then let it sit for 2 days. And the Mountain Ops Biotics curdled that milk in like 3 hours. By the next day, it was cottage cheese. Looking at the other Biotics, some of them, like Ultimate Flora, was like $50 to buy it. There was a number of them that were room temperature strains. Nothing happened to the milk at all.
Really?
Like didn't curdle it. No bacterial change. Some had a little bit, but Mountain Ops crushed it.
Jeez.
So we compared it against Phillips, Ultimate Flora. I don't remember the other ones.
I used to take Ultimate Flora before I started taking the Mountain Ops.
This was when Mountain Ops came out with it. I was like, I'm all skeptical. I'm like, oh, sure, guys. You guys.
Here you go, kid. Figure this out for me.
So then I took it and I'm like, whoa, it seems like it works. And then I did the test. I mean, try it for yourself. It works. So I like Biotics, and I think a good gut bacteria pill that you take each day, it just helps a little bit with digestion. It used to be thought that you could seed your gut using bacteria that you take, but really it's not something that you take for a year and then your gut's now filled with good bacteria. It just helps in digestion for that day. Mm-hmm. It's really how most probiotics seem to work. That's how they work on me. So that's another one that I like. I like Mountain Ops whey protein. I think it tastes good. I digest it well. And digestion is a big part for me. I like to mix it with PB Fit, which is just a powdered peanut butter. I like the chocolate with PB Fit peanut butter and some milk. I like milk. I digest milk well. And I add that because it's got amino acids in it, and it's a easy digestible protein for me when I want to increase my protein intake. I mean, those are kind of my staples. And yes, I perform better with those things in my diet and my regimen than I do without. Things like Ignite and Yeti Blaze shots, like that one over there.
Right. It's we got rid of the Blaze shots. They're done for. They're no longer Blaze shots.
What are they called now?
The Mountain Ops Energy Shot.
Okay, the energy shots, those things I wouldn't necessarily recommend as nutritional products. Mm-hmm. You know, I think they give you a boost of energy for sure. They absolutely increase performance in the moment with, I feel, very little downside. Where if you were to take drink something like a Monster energy drink or a 5-Hour Energy or some kind of like Mountain Dew or I don't know, some kind of soda or some Red Bull, I feel like those things also give you a boost in a negative way where you get a boost of energy that's short term, you crash from it, and you just put a whole bunch of chemicals and crap in your body that aren't very good for you, that are terrible for you rather. Where your Ignite, your Yeti, your Blaze, those give you a very nice sustained energy burst without all the chemicals and crap that the other ones have in it. Do I think it's good to like spike your adrenals all day, every day? No.
I mean,
I think that's why I always say, people who've listened to the podcast for a long time, I like to cycle on and off. When I want an increase, like before I go on a hunt, you know, before a hunting season rolls around, I'll go a month or two without taking any stimulants at all. And that includes anything. You know, if I drank coffee, it would be off the table. Tea, you name it. I try to stay off of it so that when I then go on my hunt and I'm hunting elk for 3 weeks, I can slip, an Ignite travel pack into my drink each day and get a nice boost during that period when I want more energy, more alertness. When I burn the candle at both ends, spend it on all night driving on a road trip. Man, when I take Ignite after being off of it for a long period of time, it works. It works really well. So I think that's probably true for most stimulants if your body's not conditioned to them on a daily basis. Yeah. In summary, I think you should absolutely stay on the path you're on, eat food, get everything you need from those things. Like I said, I think adding the supplements is absolutely, in terms of the vitamins and the minerals, the calcium and the glucosamine, all that kind of stuff, I think is, I don't know how a guy ages doing squats and heavy lifts and running and doing what I'm doing without that. I just can't get enough calcium from my food I eat. I don't think our food today has enough in it. I think there's not enough magnesium. I don't, even when I try to go organic and so on, have
you seen the studies they do from broccoli from 50 years ago?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
It's like the third of the numbers broccoli used to have. Like broccoli nowadays is weak.
Right. So I think getting a highly digestible, set of minerals and stuff, I think is great. And I think, again, Mountain Ops Renew, Mountain Ops Biotics, those are stellar. And I love their energy products, period.
Yeah, they nailed it.
They're among the best. Plus they taste good, but that's just a bonus.
I want them to make something that just flavors my water. That's really what Mountain Ops is missing. Just a water flavoring thing.
I think...
I don't want anything in it. I just want it to taste good so I can actually drink water.
Another thing is electrolytes. And I don't know how old... What's his name?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Skylar Strassman. I don't know how old he is. And I was wondering that because... when you're younger, you could definitely get by on just diet alone.
I was Well, when I was in college, I was crushing it eating Taco Bell every day. It was 59 cents for a burrito and a taco. I mean,
when you're young, your body's not picky. It just says, give it to me.
Dude, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't good for me, but I ate a lot of garbage and still performed well. A lot of this is I'm approaching age 45. It's a different ball game, and I want to continue my health long term. I absolutely think, especially as you get older, I didn't need calcium before I turned 33, 34. I didn't notice that I had any problems. And then I went through a few years where my knees and my hands would hurt a lot, only to find out that was 100% a nutrition deficiency. I just wasn't getting enough in my diet to keep up with the rate that I was using it in my body as I pushed my body. And it was actually my grandpa who was like, "Hey, kid, how about some calcium?" Really? And then not overnight, like a lot of these issues had disappeared. So I like those supplements. I don't know that's my take. So take it or leave it. I hope that answers Skylar's question. Thanks for tuning in to the Gritty Podcast. As always, we appreciate all the support. Check out our website, briancall.com. Check out my website, briancall.com. To find all the podcast episodes, go to briancall.com and go to the podcast link, and you'll see the list of all the shows. You can kind of scroll through them real fast. Do us a favor and sign up for our email newsletter, which we're going to send real soon. And that's it, Brent. Let's wrap it up.
Stay gritty.
Stay gritty.